Hi, this is Mimi from Mimi's Paper Crafting. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be working in my creative daily journal for the month of July for the second week. So the 8th to the 14th, and it's been a week, you guys. So let's get started. And also, if you haven't watched my last video or making this is the month of pockets. Okay, everything's a pocket. Okay, so the boyfriend and I ran a few errands. We went to Michael's. His work pockets, his phone stuck up this much from his work pockets, which as a woman, I was like, and so, because, you know, all of our pockets are too freaking small. However, he climbs up a lot of ladders at work. So he was worried about it falling out. So I went and I bought fabric so I could extend his pockets. By the way, I already did. And I'm not a seamstress. However, if you would like to know how to extend your pockets, let me know and I will make a short showing you how to extend your pockets. If you sew, it was super easy. Let's see. We also got him another pair of the same shorts because he absolutely loves them, but just the pockets were just too short. So not the front pockets, just the back pockets. Let's see. Oh, and then I told him he needed to cook. So this was a Tuesday and I told him he needed to cook because I was done cooking. I didn't want to cook anymore. So we went to the grocery store and got stuff to make dinner. And then a storm came in. So we had to rush to make dinner. And it was a problem because then he made me help. This week I told him I'm not helping. That's what I told him. I said, you're making dinner and I'm not helping. I want a break from cooking. Okay? Also, let's see. I still had my Kindle Unlimited subscription at this point. I don't anymore. I only kept it for a month. And I'm so very sad I don't have it anymore. I read so much when I have Kindle Unlimited. It's not even funny. I read so much. All right, so this was Wednesday then. I'm going to take out Thursdays while I'm at it. Also, sorry, that was my printer. And if you hear my fan, it's really hot down here. So I got up to make homemade marshmallows for the boyfriend, which, by the way, when it's humid out, I had no idea that homemade marshmallows do not set very well if it's humid out. So don't make homemade marshmallows when it's humid. Also, don't make homemade marshmallows in the summer. Like, okay. So somebody commented on my last video about my last journal with me when I said something about the heat, about how they are just inundated with ants. We have gnats and fruit flies. So many gnats, so many fruit flies in my house. Our yard, we were outside yesterday, and the moment poor Sammy came out, his entire body was just swarmed with them. They're so bad I'm guessing because of all the rain. It's just so bad right now. So our house is just filled with them, especially our kitchen, because that's the main entry point to the house. So I bought a Zevo. Last night the boyfriend went out and made a fruit fly trap with apple cider vinegar, Dawn just soap, and water. And that grabbed a lot. And then he went to the grocery store and bought these. They look like little apples. I've never heard of them. You should see the amount of fruit flies and gnats that are on these little apples. They're just swarming these little apples. I checked this morning. There's about 20 dead in each one. Plus our Zevo is already full. Like, I don't know what's going on. So many gnats. Like, the problem is both dogs are older. My dad's older, so the door gets held open a very long while those three people, like the two dogs and my dad, are leaving the house. So bugs just constantly get in. It's a problem in the summer, but it used to be worse, by the way, you guys, when we had our garbage cans where they've always been for 20 some years until I moved them last year because I couldn't stand the flies anymore. Anyway. The point of my story was, because we had so many gnats, I also couldn't leave it uncovered. When you make homemade marshmallows, you're supposed to let them cool uncovered and cure uncovered, but I couldn't do that, or it would have just been covered with gnats. So the marshmallows didn't turn out. I also made a loaf of milk bread. I ordered a thumb brace. I think I might have trigger thumb. You guys, my thumb has been doing this thing for like 2 months now. First of all, I don't know if you could tell, and look how swollen this part is compared to this side. It's like hard and swollen, and when I move my thumb, sometimes it stops and then pops. Oh, it hurts so bad. So I ordered a thumb brace. It actually helps. So you can see, it's been helping. But I can't do anything with it on, so I'm not wearing it right now. So I ordered Subway for lunch on this day because I had nothing for my boyfriend to eat for lunch or dinner. And then I decided to buy a D&D cross stitch to do for my kid for Christmas. I read a bit before bed. Oh, the McDonald's snacky wraps came out on this day, you guys. Back out, I should say. And the kid brought me, my dad, and himself a spicy one. Yeah. A spicy one. I said never again. First of all, their chicken tenders now are gross. Just want to throw that out there. Their chicken tenders are no longer good. Like they used to be when they first had them out. Just gonna throw that out there. Let it be known. Okay, so I did not read anything on this day. I have a lot of crap for the other day, though. But yeah, he brought that home and he told me, I said, who wants these with how shitty the tenders are? And, excuse me, I just hiccuped. And he told me that, are you ready for this? He said every order on the first day, everyone had at least one snack wrap in the order. Everyone. He's like, Mom, we sold so many snack wraps. I'm like, okay, people don't have taste anymore. First of all, if you want to order the snack wraps, don't get the spicy. It's unless you really like it's just not a good and right amount of spice, in my opinion, for a McDonald's item. And then, like I said, the chicken tenders weren't that good. Now, this is the next day, and as you see, I have another little I'm loving it sticker because now he this day he brought us the ranch one to try. Delicious. Ranch one. Good. I would order again. 10 out of 10. He also told them to make sure to cook the tenders a little hard, and like he goes, I told him to make it really good. I was like, well, he made it really good. It was really good. Okay, so I got up this morning and went out to trim for my dad. I do the weed whacking. He's not allowed to weed whack. It's too much for him, so I do it, and I didn't do it last time, so I went out this morning and did it because he disappeared, so I thought he was going to cut the grass. So I quickly did it while he was gone. When I was done, my mom called and asked if I wanted to go to Sam's Club and Yummy Bowl with her and my niece, and I don't care about the Sam's Club and the Yummy Bowl of it all. I wanted to spend time with my mom and my niece, so I said yes. I showered because I was gross. It was humid and gross, and got ready to go. So then my mom said something to me when we were at Yummy Bowl, by the way. She's like, so when you're done with this shed, can you start the blanket I asked you to make? And I'm like, what freaking blanket, Mom? What blanket? She's like, the blanket I asked you to make months ago. I'm like, you never asked me to make a blanket. She's like, yes, I want you to make a baby blanket. Our maintenance guy at the apartment is having a little girl. I wanted you to make a baby blanket. I'm like, Mom, you never asked me. And she's like, I did. You just don't remember. Well, okay. So, two things. She did ask me. Not my fault. I didn't know it. At one point, she was sending me a bunch of pictures of my brother's dog after he passed. And buried in between the pictures was a one-line text of, can you make a baby blanket? The person's name is Evelyn, and I want it to be a graph can. That was it. It was buried. Never saw it because it was in between all those pictures. So she did text me. But I never saw it. But not my fault either. I'm sticking to that story. Then she also asked me to make an album. We picked out paper and I ordered it. So, my kid also brought me a Dr. Pepper. That came yesterday. I should really open it up and look. We found every Christmas since my ex-husband and I split up. I, of course, get gifts for him from my kid. Well, every year I always ask him what to get, and his response is, I don't know, can you help me? I don't know. Well, this year on Prime Day, there was this Let me see if I can get a picture. It's like super cute. And then I found one for my boyfriend, and I'm like, also look at my wallpaper. It's a wiener dog licking the screen. It makes me giggle. Every year I would struggle, but I saw this thing during Prime Day. It was delivered yesterday, and I didn't get to look at it in person. But it's super cute. Super cute. Look at it. It's a candy dish. His favorite animal is a hippo. It's a candy dish. Look how cute that is. I found one for my boyfriend that's a gator, and I'm getting it for him because I showed it to him first. I'm like, what do you think of this? He's like, oh my God, I love it. I was like, great, I'm getting you that because it is so unbelievably cute. But my ex-husband loves hippos. And then my son's going to buy his favorite candy to go inside of it. Anyway. I also got a book. I got a book this day. I bought a book on Pango. And it came. So I am going to tape this in. The book from Pango I got came with, the woman sent so much, like, you don't have to. There's no thing saying that you have to send little goodies with when somebody buys a book from you, but she sent all kinds of good stuff. Very nice. So, I bought the new Megan Miranda book. Oh no, that was the end of that. Hold on. Okay, forgot that I was paused. So I put tape there. Forgot I was paused. So let's add everything else. I have my yummy bowl bag. My mom made fun of me. It's fine. You can make fun of me all you want. I don't care. Okay. I'm going to make it into a pocket by punching a thumb hole, if I can find the punch. I actually have a thumb notch punch from We Are, and I never use it because it's so big. I don't understand why it's so big. I'm not gonna be able to get it in, so I'm gonna have to punch both sides. See how big it is? It's so big. But that's fine. Okay. Tape. My mom was like, look, your Aunt Mimi takes the Yummy Bowl thing with. I said, how else am I going to know when I go to Yummy Bowl if I don't take the thing with and put it in my journal? How else am I going to know? And yeah, I went twice this month, okay? Also, I texted my boyfriend a picture of my mom sitting at Yummy Bowl. And he texted back, you're dead to me. I said to my mom, like, we just came here last week. I don't know what his problem is. Oh, we were going to bring my dad this week. Oh, so much has happened. You guys, so much has happened. It's been a week. All right, so I read 2 books, I believe. So 2 books. Here is my Yummy Bowl. It was delicious. I brought some of it home, and my boyfriend ate it for dinner. At Sam's Club, I got the Gap linen pants, and I'm glad I sized up. I like to size up in bottoms with shorts and like pants that are supposed to be looser. I feel like, my mom said her last pair of linen pants shrank, so, but baby got back, so sometimes I need the bigger size of shorts or pants. So, yeah. All right. Can't get into my pocket. Here it is. So, we're just going to put those in here. like so. Okay. And then there's this little Inspire that came to holding the book closed. So I'm just going to run tape along this part here and tape it down. Like that. Okay, next day. Let's see. Oh, this was Saturday. I started putting the shed together, you guys. I started putting together the parts that weren't building of the actual shed. So I put together the metal trusses this day. It was hot. It was hell. It was so hot in the garage. I ended up not feeling good and really sick for the rest of the day. So we ordered food for dinner. My son hasn't asked for it in a while, and this time he wanted Chili's. So that's what we had. As you can see, I wasn't doing anything these few days. So that is yesterday's. So today, this was Sunday, I continued on the shed. I put together the doors and the gables of the shed. And that's where I had to end until I had somebody with me to help build the rest of the shed. Because the next step was putting up the floor, the walls, the roof, and all that kind of stuff. The doors as you're putting on the roof. Like it's this whole thing. So once again, it was hot and miserable. I made dinner, read the rest of the night till the boyfriend got back from work. Also, I had to order pinking shears because I don't have any. And they came on this day, and I had to order them because the poor boyfriend was like, I kept thinking something was crawling on me because of the threads already. Immediately after I did his pockets. Threads already started coming out. So I got pinking shears so I could pinking shear the edges of the fabric so they would no longer fray. I don't know how that works and why that works, but it does. I'm going to put that right there. That's really the only thing. So this was yesterday. Okay. Oh. No. This has to go here. I'm going to say, wait a minute. I did not finish this yesterday. I finished this on Sunday. I put it on the wrong day. Okay. This is the last book. The latest book in the Steve Kavanaugh, the Eddie Flynn series. All right. So, and what I'm now calling Shedgate, that's what I said. Shit went down. So we got up nice and bright and early to put the shed up yesterday. I don't need this because I literally just wrote this because I forgot to journal last night. So we got up nice and early to go put the shed up. But first we had to go to Lowe's and get lag screws so we could screw the shed in when it was done. Okay. So we did that. And then we started on the shed. And you start by putting the floor up. So we put the floor in, put up the walls, start it with the roof, put up the shelf, start it with the roof, and then as we were putting the roof on, things went down and we stopped. And why did we stop? Why did we stop, you might ask? Well, we stopped because, first of all, I said to the boyfriend, I'm like, we should have known when we put the floor up. Actually, this is not even true. I should have known when I was putting together the doors that there were going to be issues. That's when I actually should have known. But I just blew it off like maybe it was my fault. Everything's going to be fine. So, yeah. But we should have known when we put up the floor. Because the floor didn't stay together correctly. Okay, well, it's not screwed down, so let's just move on. Then we put up the first piece of the wall, goes in perfectly fine. We put up the first corner piece of the wall, and that's when we should have known also that there were going to be problems. when we put up the first corner piece of the wall, and the bottom, okay, you ready? The bottom was snug where it was supposed to be. So this is the first piece we put in. Here's the corner piece. The bottom's nice and snug where it's supposed to be. The top is like this. Every single wall piece was like that. Every single one. And we both thought, okay, not a problem. Like, maybe it's because they're not put together and there's nothing really, at this point, there's nothing really holding this thing together except for the wall pieces are just in these little slots on the floor. That is it. So we thought, okay. I don't know what my boyfriend thought, but I thought, okay, well, maybe it'll get better once we put the roof on and all that kind of stuff, because you don't know, right? You don't know. So we move on. We get all the wall pieces up. Now it's time to put up a shelf. The shelves run on these walls, okay? First of all, we couldn't find the other pieces to put up the other shelf, so I said, fuck it, I don't care. Second, then what you do is you put a brace. You put a set of braces on this wall, okay? You pick a spot to put the braces however high up you want the shed. Great. We did that. Then on the front and the back, because now that is running basically on the side. So yeah, that's running on the side. They're on the sides of the shed. So on the front and back, you're supposed to go find the pieces, the holes that match up the same height as the braces you just put in. Fine, great, we did that. We put the little plugs things that you're supposed to put in, and then there's these L-shaped braces you're supposed to put on. Okay, and they're just metal L-shaped little braces you're supposed to put on, so the thing sits inside and has a little ledge to sit on. Great, got those up. Now you're supposed to put up this shelf that they had folded, thin shitty plastic shelf that they had folded, and you're supposed to put these metal bars in, and they snap. Okay, I snap these bars in. I pick up the shelf to hand it to the boyfriend to put in, and the bars fall out. Okay, put it upside down, snap the middle bars in again, they fall out again. At this point, I'm like, just screw it in. We'll put them on. We'll put them in when you get the sides screwed in. So he screws in the sides on the top of the shed. So the back of the shed, he screws the shelf into the little ledge. The front of the shed, it's this far away, you guys, from the freaking little ledge you're supposed to screw it into. The shelf does not reach all the way across. Okay, the boyfriend just kind of pulls everything in, screws it down. All right, great. Now you're supposed to screw in from the brackets underneath to the shelf. And if you look, here's the shelf, here's the bracket. There is a gap this big between the bracket and the shelf. Now, everything's lined up. I'm not stupid. I can see which holes to put it on. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Everything's put up the way it's supposed to put up. Why is there a gap this big? Boyfriend says, screw it. Screws it in. So now we have a shelf that V's in the middle. That should have been our next clue, right? No, that's fine. We'll move on. We'll move on. And we'll move on to putting up the gable. The first gable, we put it up on the right side of the shed. The gable goes up, and then you start building with the metal trusses I put together the other day. So you start with the first metal truss. Do you screw that metal truss into anything? No, you don't. Someone's supposed to hold it in place in these, what they're calling notches. So little cutout square piece that the back one sits into very nice. The front one is an open, so it's like an L-shaped one because the door goes right here. The door's not up yet. Couldn't get it to sit in right. I'm like, screw it. The boyfriend's just like, screw it. We're just going to get this in. We shove the piece of roof, because now you're supposed to put the first piece of roof up, right? You're supposed to slide the first piece of roof up, put it in there, and screw it in. How? Guess what? The holes to screw it in don't line up with the other holes. At all. At all. Don't line up. So we're trying to push and pull and get this to line up. Still doesn't line up. And I basically say, screw it, just screw it in. And every time we try to go screw it in, the side of the shed, the side of the shed goes, wah, wah. Nowhere for the roof to attach it to, because it's buckling that bad. Because nothing lined up. After about 30 minutes of trying to figure out how to do this first piece of roof, I literally picked the metal truss, and he put one screw in the roof so we would stop having to hold the roof and the metal truss up, because that was a pain in the ass. And I picked it up and just put it down, and he's like, it's gonna twist and break. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I said, I'm calling and I'm returning this shed. This shed has been nothing but problems, nothing but issues. We were 3 hours into this project, you guys. 3 hours into this shed project. All we had was a floor and the walls up and one gable. That was it. We did have to stop for 30 minutes because the storm came through, so we did have to stop. But that's all we had. That was it. All we had. The shed floor started to kind of like buckle. And it moved. It kept moving, because you don't screw the shed down till the last thing you do is screw the shed down into the platform. So it kept shifting and moving as we were putting things in. Nothing lined into place. Nothing clicked into place the way it was supposed to click in. There were so many screw holes that the screw holes weren't drilled. The floor, to get the floor together, it came in 3 pieces. You slotted the tabs together. There were no tabs, by the way. I don't know why they kept calling them tabs. And then you're supposed to add 5 screws going up that seam. There were only 4 screw holes. Like I said, the floor should have been our first clue. So then I called Lifetime. It was a Lifetime shed. Guys, I don't recommend the Lifetime shed. It was a $1,500 shed. That was on sale. So I called Lifetime. I waited on hold a half an hour for them to tell me I needed to call the place I bought it from, though the place I bought it from said I needed to call the manufacturer. So there was that. So I called BJ's, because we got it at BJ's, had it delivered. They were great, by the way. They had it delivered, everything. I called them. An automated system. And I just kept asking to talk to an operator. Well, what about a return? This is how you do a return. Thanks. Okay. So then I call the store. Store says I have to do it online. I have to start the return online. Okay, fine. I start the return online. It says they can't do it. I need to contact a member care team member. So I call the store back again. They put me on hold. No, I don't. I called the main customer service line again. Okay, I called them again. And finally, I get to the point where I can talk to a team member. I said, team member, okay, give us your card number. So I gave him my card number. Click, it disconnected. Okay, so I call the store again, hoping that maybe they could do something for me. Okay, well, you need to talk to a manager. Let me get you a manager. 10 minutes later, I hung up because I still hadn't gotten a manager, and I just went on and I chatted. And everything's fine. They're going to contact me within 72 hours of yesterday for a date they're going to come pick up the shed, and we're getting a full refund. And the woman actually, like in the chat, I'm guessing okay, I shouldn't say woman because it had a female name, but they could be anything, but it was a female name. And they're like, thank you for being so patient and understanding. And I was like, no, just thank you for your help, for somebody to actually help me. I should have chatted in the first place, but I couldn't find the chat. It was very difficult to find, but I found it. Anyway, that's my story. That is what happened with the shed. So we still don't have a shed. Now this shed's going back. And now my boyfriend, God love him, God love my boyfriend, wants to build a wooden shed. And I looked at him. He goes, but that's what I do. He makes a lot of tables, so he makes a lot of frames to put tabletops on. And he's like, that's what I do. I make frames. So how hard would it be to make a frame for a shed? The only thing we would have to figure out would be the roof. And I think we came up with a solution for the roof. So that's it. And I also said, we're not doing that till, I said to my dad, I'm like, you're going to be able to park your car in the garage again soon because the shed boxes will be gone. I said, but we're not doing this project till like September. I'm not doing it in the heat anymore. I can't. I once again almost passed out from heat exhaustion yesterday and dehydration again yesterday. Like it wasn't even that hot out. It was overcast. It was so humid. And then when the sun would come out, it was hot, but it was only like 82 yesterday when we were putting this together. It was not that hot, but I got sick anyway. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I just thought I would let you know what happened with the shed. And I don't recommend lifetime sheds. Sorry. Because my dad said that he wasn't happy anyway because the walls were so thin. Like the plastic was so thin. It was supposed to be resin. And it said it was resin. It was not resin. Maybe it was some kind of little hybrid resin, but it was so thin. I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, Tristan's, my kids, playhouse when he was little had thicker walls than this shed. His little Tyke's playhouse had thicker walls than this shed. Ridiculous. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I blabbered on for the last little bit, but you guys have been with me for this whole shed process so far, so I thought you would want to know the update. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next crafty video.